8 a.m. having arrived, I'll call the Taxes Committee to order. And I think, are looking for one more for a quorum. So when we do that, we'll halt and indicate that and pass the minutes. But members, if you've noticed that almost every day I've been trying to space this out as the chair, that we've had first termers presenting bills so that we get treats. So if you think it's because of the merit of the bill that you're getting a hearing, it's really just to keep members, happy here and coming early at this 8 a.m. time and so forth. So what we have here starting off is actually two bills on the student loan tax credit, which under Chair Davids was passed in 2017. And I believe Chair Davids, is there any other, was this the first of its kind in the nation?
The Davids bill, Mr. Chairman, was the first bill in the nation to do this.
So very good. And so what we're doing, I know these bills today are just maybe cleaning them up a little bit. And Representative Xiong, if you want to, and we cannot move your bill yet. And before we hear from Representative Xiong, I would like to turn this over to Mr. Williams. If you'd give us just a little background of the student loan credit and how it works and kind of this marriage penalty that we're probably going to be addressing today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair and members, I think it's helpful to sort of first explain how the credit is calculated. So if you look in your packets, there's a two-page short subject that we have about what the calculation and the formula is. At the bottom of the page, your credit amount is essentially, you take your loan payments and then you subtract off 10% of your federal adjusted gross income in excess of $10,000. So if you look at your bill summary, I've sort of got two kind of examples here that might make this a little bit clearer. So under current law, if there's two individuals that are either married or are thinking about getting married, they both have adjusted gross income of $40,000. They would pay their amount, and then they have $3,500 in student loan payments. The amount of their credit would be 10% of their adjusted gross income over $10,000. So their adjusted gross income over $10,000 is $30,000. So they'd have a $3,000 phase out, which would leave them with a $500 credit, which is the maximum credit that's allowed under current law. If those two individuals were to get married and file a joint return, their adjusted gross income would be combined. So for each, even though it's the same amount of income that they're earning, it's the same amount of student loan payments, their combined adjusted gross income would be $80,000. And so the amount of their phase out would be $7,000, which is $70,000 over $10,000 and then 10% of that. So in that case, those individuals would both lose their credits. So just sort of at a high level, that's how the marriage penalty works under current law.
Very good. And do we have a form? Okay, not quite yet. Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Williams, for that. And so Representative Xiong, if you would present your bill, and again, when we get a quorum here, we'll move it.
Certainly. Thank you, Chair. I guess first off, as this being my first bill, getting a hearing, I brought some treats. I've been told that going with chocolate chip cookies, you can't go wrong. I was trying to go exotic for Representative Liz Lagarde, but I guess we'll go safe today. But thank you, Chair, and committee members. Thank you for hearing this bill. I would like to thank all the representatives who had worked on this bill last year and staff who has worked to address the issues that this bill aims to help correct. As known to all, student loans and debt is a concern for many Minnesotans. And so I would like to provide a quick overview and a little bit of background on this bill. House File 503 is aimed at addressing an issue with current law. The big picture problems with the current law is that under current law, there is a penalty in the student loan credit for married filers. And in Minnesota, we should not penalize people in the tax code for getting married and for filing a joint return. While the revenue impact may not be large, this is really an issue of fairness. These are people that should be receiving the credit and is something we need to fix. Looking at examples of how the current law creates, as explained earlier by Sean Williams, a marriage penalty is when the credit is calculated. The loan payments are calculated separately, but measured against joint income instead of individual income. And so House File 503 reduces this penalty. And under House File 503, the couple would allocate their combined adjusted gross income to each spouse based on their share of the couple's earned income. And I think there should also be a letter in support of this bill too, and I think it will be passed out here shortly.
Very good. Representative Xiong, thank you so much for your explanation, and members, there is a letter being passed around. We do have a quorum now, so Representative Xiong moves that House File 503 be laid over for possible inclusion into the omnibus tax bill. And with that, Representative Les Lagarde, do you move to approve the January 31st, 2019 minutes?
I do, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion to approve the January 31st, 2019 minutes. Any discussion on those? If not, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. The amendment or the minutes are approved. All right. So at this time, members, any questions for Representative Xiong? Seeing none, I know we have one testifier. So anyone care to testify for or with concerns on House File 503? If you would please come forward. Good morning, and if you would identify yourself, please, and begin your testimony.
Mr. Chair and members, I'm Tricia Grimes with the Office of Higher Education, and I'm here to provide a little context about how much Minnesota students are borrowing and how many are borrowing. So the Office of Higher Education collects data from all the post-secondary institutions in Minnesota, both public and private. And I'm going to give you some median debt figures. And let me just take a minute. This committee probably is well acquainted with the concept of median, but just in case, median is the value in the middle. If you rank all the values from low to high, it's the value in the middle. You may have heard press reports that says Minnesota is 6th or 7th among the states in average student loan debt for the bachelor's degree recipients. And that is true to a point. But average student loan debt can be distorted easily by a few borrowers who borrow a lot. And so we like to use median because we think that's a better measure of central tendency. Somewhat like using income data. You tend to use median income data. Associate degree recipients in Minnesota had median student loan debt from all sources, federal, state, and private, of $16,600. And 63% of them had borrowed. Bachelor's degree recipients had median debt of $25,500, and 68% of them had borrowed. And master's degree recipients had median debt of $36,900, and 54% of them had borrowed. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea how the sort of the amount and the prevalence of borrowing. And I would just also mention that among the states, Minnesota is one of the states that performs better in terms of student loan borrowers who default on their loans. A default basically happens after a borrower has not paid for 9 months or more on their federal student loan. But there were 12,400 Minnesotans who defaulted on their student loans in 2015. So I was just trying to provide a little context to information here.
Thank you very much. So any questions for Ms. Grimes? All right, thank you very much. So, and again, members, you should have a letter from Medical Alley Association also in support of House File 503. Any other questions or comment? Anyone else from the audience who would care to testify on House File 503? Representative Xiong, any closing comments?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, committee members, for giving me this opportunity to present this bill. Thank you.
Representative Xiong renews his motion to lay over House File 503 for possible inclusion into the tax omnibus bill. Thank you very much, and thank you for the goodies. Next up, Representative Becker-Finn, House File 502. Hold on just a second. Representative Fabian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week I mentioned that Roseau played Warroad in hockey, and the score was tied 2-2.
Yes.
Well, last night Roseau played Warroad in hockey, and the score was tied 1-1 in the girls' game.
Not much difference between those schools, so very good. Thank you for that update from up north.
I'm really excited to hear that.
I thank you very much, Representative Fabian.
We wrestle up there, too.
They do, yes. Representative Becker-Finn, would you like to move your bill?
I sure would, Mr. Chair. Would move House File 502 be laid over for possible inclusion in the tax omnibus bill.
Very good, thank you. Please proceed and welcome.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, we kind of just got some history on the tax credit for student loan payments. This is also related to the same thing that was done in 2017. Except this would make the tax credit refundable. I think the initial intention when the student loan tax credit idea came forward, a lot of folks had hoped that it could be refundable to start out with. And so trying to make that change now, I think it'll make a difference for individuals to be able to get some money back from that. And then I do have one testifier. I have a student from the University of Minnesota. So I think I'll let her testify if that's okay with you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, well, let me first ask if there's right now on, on the bill, and there is a revenue estimate on House File 502, which is in 2020 about 3.9 million, in 2021 about 4 million, just as an idea of what that would cost. So any questions for Representative Becker-Finn before we move to testifiers from members? If not, very good. If you would come forward to testify. And well, good morning. If you would introduce yourself for the committee.
Good morning. My name is Catalina Nampa Castro. I'm a student at the University of Minnesota, and I serve as the chair of the Student Senate Consultative Committee. And I'm here kind of in my role as a member of the Student Advisory Council for the Office of Higher Education.
Please proceed.
I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about what the experience of having student loans is. As a student, I often hear stories as well as my own experience, and a lot of us think about what's going to happen when we graduate and we have to start paying off our loans. And that is the people who are fortunate to have only subsidized loans that require you to start paying once you graduate. But there are other people who have been required to take out loans that are private, which require payments in school. So this not only affects people who are in school, but people who are also planning to eventually graduate or leave school. I often think about how can I save up the greatest amount of money to be ready to start pay off my loans once I'm done graduating. This means during school breaks, I usually work 40 to 60 hours a week to save up as much as possible. Because if I work during the school year, that means that I am losing an hour that I could be studying. So working during school breaks is usually the most convenient option for me. I often hear students talk about what they're doing to save money during food. When they shop for food, because that's usually the most flexible spending. Your housing is usually fixed, as well as your tuition and your books. So food is where students go to. When money is tight, you usually hear about students eating spaghetti and beans. When money gets even more tight, you have to go onto things that aren't as healthy. Our spending is very much there's like a shadow of our debt hanging over us throughout our entire college careers and afterwards. So we constantly think about it in many different ways.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Nampa Castro? Thank you so much for your testimony. Appreciate that perspective. Any, from the audience, any other comments for or with concerns on House File 502? If not, anything else from members? Representative Becker-Finn, any closing comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say, I think that there are constituents that each one of us have in our districts that are affected by student loan debt. And I just want to thank Anna for coming in because I think it is helpful to hear from somebody who's directly impacted right now. My own personal student loan debt story is, anyone kind of under 40 who has gone through, college or a graduate program. I don't know anyone who's paid outright for school. And if we want people to go to school to be doctors and, attorneys, for better or worse, we do need attorneys. And honestly, a lot of our mental health professions also, those are the folks I hear from a lot because they don't make a lot of money when they get out of school. So I do think that it's not a huge amount, but I think that, $500 means a lot to a lot of individuals. We always talk in millions and billions of dollars in these rooms, but I think that $500 could be quite impactful for individual families. So happy to bring this forward and hope that we will give it good consideration when we get to the omnibus bill. So thank you for your time.
Very good. Thank you so much. Representative Becker-Finn renews her motion to lay over House File 502 for possible inclusion into the tax omnibus bill. Thank you very much. We're so efficient. Tomorrow, we have 4 sales tax bills. And then on Thursday is Section 179 Bonus Depreciation Day. And so don't miss those exciting adventures coming forward. So with that, members, we are adjourned.